Welcome back to MMAJammin with the mighty Kyle Chain.
Kyle, give me your rhythm, make me quick and match it up. Proper timing we click like clocks, you know. Not a thing figure flick pan tracks, you know. Bag of things up, me kick and box it up. Everlast we spit like Godzilla. If you check the charts, might not hit like Gangzilla. Maybe true me no politic like Chancellor. Even though my words not limited like damn Twitter. Conditioning, training used to mean getting ready for kick it like Bruce Lee. Shadow boxing for me turn mood relief. But if I clash things mash like juicy beef. Yeah, the rhythm I'm a punching bag. Yeah, me kick it up and fill it up with jab. Rhythm starts sway swinging so zigzag. It a move always dizzy up, make jag.
Yo, the thing mad. Yo, big up Master the Creator for that one there. You don't know. Big artists are doing thing, creativity max in the place. Yo, one thing when you live in Jamaica, you know. This is the land of dancehall, the home of reggae music. So you don't know the artists them out there and them wild with the thing. So yeah, big up yourself, Massey. So this week we're gonna talk about last week's card that was Figueredo versus Benavidez 2. The fact that there's a new flyweight champion, new flyweight king, who we probably won't see deposed for right now. And then, but before we get to that, I want to break down this upcoming card, which is huge, and I don't know how. I feel like somehow it's kind of flown under the radar and people are not paying attention. But we're talking about Whittaker versus Till. Now Whittaker is one of my favorite fighters. Big up Whittaker. He's gonna fight Till, and it's gonna be a very interesting matchup for many reasons. And it's so close that even the matchmakers have it as basically dead even, right? In terms of the odds. So it's a very interesting matchup, and we're gonna talk more about that. And of course, we have a brother named. Well, we have a couple things to talk about that are interesting about this whole card. So, going straight in, Robert Whitaker versus Darren Till. Now the thing about this fight is they have a lot of very similar traits. They're both stand-up fighters, they're both strikers. Whitaker and Till are actually the same height, which you'd never guess just watching previous fights and seeing these guys versus the other opponents. Whitaker has been in the middleweight division for a while, was champion, and you know, was looking almost unstoppable after defeating Yoel Romero twice. And they have Till, who's coming from the welterweight division and who was looking huge in the welterweight division, looked like a really big giant compared to everybody else. But in the middleweight division, he's, you know, not that big. So what we see now is these two guys are gonna come in at the same height. Till is gonna have a little bit of a reach advantage, just a very minor reach advantage. But I want to break down the styles and what's going to make this fight interesting and what the keys to victory might be. So when you look at a man like Till now, Till has a very deceptive kind of style, and he depends a lot on masking that left hand. He's a southpaw fighter, so the left hand is always back, and he's always masking that left hand behind the jab and with a little stutter step, so he does a little two-step forward most times to land his straight left. What you'll find is also that he's always feinting. His hands are very active. He's always moving his hands. He actually makes himself bigger in the cage by the way he stands. He's very upright when he stands. Most fighters, another reason why he looks taller than most fighters is because he's straight up, very similar to Conor McGregor. And his movement, his body's not moving that much, but his legs are. So his legs are moving in and out fairly quickly as they want to, and that front hand is in, you know, the right hand is in front, and it's creating that mask, blocking the vision. It's also gauging his space. He's also finding out how close he can get, how close he needs to get, and definitely how close you can get, right? So he's keeping you away with that. He's creating different looks. He's always feinting. He really throws a lot of feints, right? He moves his hands out and he makes himself big, so you feel caged, you feel pressured when you're fighting him, and he's coming forward a lot, so he tends to come forward consistently. Now that makes it for an interesting matchup against a man like Whittaker, who enjoys when people come forward, right? He likes that a lot. Whittaker is a blitz fighter. He tends to just blitz in very quickly and throw combinations. But the good thing about Whittaker is that he throws 3-4 punches, 3-4 strikes, ends with a kick. He's very affluent in his combinations, and he tends to mix it up very well. So, and he's not like a Muay Thai striker where they throw the entire hip and they throw, so they're committing the entire body to a kick. He'll throw snap kicks very much like karate. And the reason he does that is to ensure that he can always get back in position to throw 2-3 more kicks, 2-3 more punches. So that's why he's so fluent in his combinations, because he's just throwing it quickly, bam, 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 if it be punches or whatever, and then he's able to move and reposition. Now, this had put him in trouble with, the great Israel Adesanya. We saw that he was rushing in and got caught. He was overextending himself. Now, this is the thing. He has to be careful how he overextends. Now, Darren Till is a very different fighter from Israel. Darren does not do the lean back, but what he does a step back and throws the counter. That is something that Whittaker will expect. I think it's something he'll watch out for. Not to mention, one of Whittaker's best punches is his left hook. He lunges in with a left hook and puts fools out. Now, because Till is standing in a southpaw position, it means his left is what's facing, right? So it will be interesting to see what happens there. Now, Till is not easy to take down. He's not, as much as Gastelum we saw in the Woodley fight where Till was owned on the ground by Woodley. The interesting thing is Woodley couldn't take him down. The reason he got to the ground is because he got hit. So Woodley landed a punch and Till went down, and then he capitalized. And that is essentially what Robert would have to do as well, because he's not an easy man to take down. So I don't think Robert is going to be, shooting for many takedowns or even trying to take him down. You may work the clinch a little bit. Till fought Kelvin Gastelum, and Gastelum didn't have much success either when it came to that. So Robert will definitely have to watch out for all of that. I think Till also has that left kick, that left roundhouse, in case you start to lean over to one side or the other. I think it's going to be very interesting, and I think like I said, it's very evenly matched. It's interesting. What is also interesting is the mental state of the fighters, and that's something you have to consider. Till is super confident, even though he just had some losses. He's also had some wins, and he's a young upcomer, super confident. There's a lot of belief generally out there in his abilities and his skills. But then you have Robert Whittaker, who was the reigning champion, but literally got burnt out. He got burnt out of the sport. Like he was mentally and emotionally burnt out, and physically as well, because he was having a lot of injuries, and therefore decided that he needed to take a break. And this was after his knockout loss against Israel Adesanya. And it's a very difficult situation when fighters get mentally and emotionally and physically burnt out. And I want people to understand that unlike any other sport, MMA fighters have to do, there's so many aspects of the game that they have to perfect. So the training is incredibly intense all the time. On top of the fact that, you're diminishing your time with your family, situations like that, for people who tend to take fight camp away from their family and situations like that. And then also the media. Robert was a champion, and you'll find that we've seen in the case of GSP, we've seen in the case of Rose Namajunas, where the champions, they get so burnt out because of the pressure. Even Ronda Rousey, they get burnt out because of the pressure that they're consistently under, from media obligations, from the expectations of everybody, the fans and everyone else, the critics and the fans, and the trolls and everybody who are constantly pressuring them and constantly, just creating this atmosphere of unease where the fighters just can't, them don't have a break, man. Them can't relax. So it's amazing how many trucks pass my yard. Anyway, so I think we have to keep that in mind for Robert Whittaker. I think Till will have the mental edge in terms of being ready to face this again. There has been a consistent thread that has happened with champions, especially long reigning champions who get beaten. We don't see them come back on top. We just don't. It's not happened. The only one I can think of off my head is GSP, who took a very long break before he came back. And I'm not talking about guys who lose the belt one time and then come back on. Like they weren't long. Like they win the belt, next fight them lose the belt, and then 2 fights later they win back. And I'm talking about long reigning champions like Henan Barrow, like Jose Aldo, like Ronda Rousey, like, well, Demetrius left, but like there's so many of these fighters who we've seen have been greatest of all time. They've been top of the game, and then as soon as they lose, they're not able to reattain that success and get the belt back. So I'm hoping it's not a real thing. I'm hoping this trend holds no actual meaning and that Robert can do the thing. But if you are a betting person who bets on trends and things like that, that is definitely something to consider, along with the mental state of Robert right now. So we have Mauricio Shogun Rua versus Lil Nog Antonio Rogerio Nogueira. Legends in the game, but they're both old as fart. So I don't know where to go. I mean, I gotta put all. So they have met 2 times before. Shogun has beaten Lil Nog twice in both those times. And to tell you the truth, I think Shogun has it again. Shogun has been more active. He's also been more winning. So he's won a couple of his last fights. So I don't think, especially at the age, I think Shogun has the edge. Shogun is a little younger. He's 38. Lil Nog is 44, man. 44. God, that's old. Lil Nog would have the definite advantage on the ground. He's definitely more of a grappler. And Shogun is going to have the advantage standing. I don't think Lil Nog would be able to take down Shogun. I think Shogun is more athletic at this stage, and I think he's stronger. And of course, these guys have just incredible experience with takedown defense, and they're not easily taken down, especially a man like Shogun. Fabricio Verdum versus Alexander Gustafsson. Now, Fabricio Verdum, we're talking about the former champion of the division. A man who, honestly, he has unseated one of the greatest heavyweights of all time in Fedor. Like, he's an incredible BJJ practitioner. He's known for his BJJ. We've seen his kickboxing. We've seen his Muay Thai be just world class, especially in the heavyweight division. But he's coming off of a long layoff and a loss. He looked extremely slow in his last fight. He did not look good at all. He fought Alexei Olenek, and he looked so slow, man. He was lumbering and slow, and he also wasn't able to take down Alexei. He wasn't able to, really put his game plan to work. And that being said, he's fighting Alexander Gustafsson, who's making his heavyweight debut. Now listen, Alexander, you hear even Brendan Schaub talk about training with Alexander and how huge Alexander is. Alexander is 6'3" or something like that. What is that? He's like 6'3" or something. So he's a little taller than Verdum. And the age group, the age difference, 42 to 33. I mean, we can't ignore it. Especially because of how slow Fabricio was looking. So I give this 100% to Gustafsson. The odds are hugely skewed towards Gustafsson as well. Gustafsson was definitely one of the greatest light heavyweight fighters of his time. The only man to really and John Jones will say it, his hardest fight was against Gustafsson in the first fight. And so it's no doubt in my mind, I think Gustafsson is going to run away with a knockout. I think it's going to be, I don't think he'll have a problem. You cannot take down Gustafsson, especially Fabricio Verdum, who is not a wrestler. He's a BJJ fighter, so his takedowns are not going to be power doubles or anything like that. You can't take down Gustafsson. You can't. It's only man like Daniel Cormier, Olympic wrestling champ, captain of the Olympic team, that's going to be taking down a man like Gustafsson. John Jones had a hard time taking him down as well. Nobody takes down Gustafsson. The Mauler. Listen, man, it's just not going to happen. I think he's going to outbox Verdum. I think it's going to be quick. I think it's going to be first or second round. Carla Esparza Cookie Monster versus Marina Rodriguez. Now this is interesting because Marina is a Muay Thai fighter and is looking very similar to Joanna, to JJ Champion. And because of that, I think stylistically, if Marina has, the strong enough takedown defense to sprawl and brawl, I think she gets the job done. Carla's striking, even though it has improved a lot, and she was looking really good in her last fight, Carla's striking, like she is a bit clumsy and a bit lumbering. That being said, she is on a winning streak. Her striking has improved, and it's hard to go against the wrestler in these kind of matchups. So I'm gonna give it to Carla. Alright, Paul Craig, Gadzimurad, Antigolov. Paul Craig don't look that impressive to me. There's nothing very shining out about him. I'm going to give that one to Antigolov. And then I just want to jump right to Alex Cowboy Oliveira, Brazilian Cowboy Oliveira versus Peter Sobotta. Yo, let me tell you something. So this fight is super interesting, and I have to go straight talking about Peter Sobotta. So the other day I was actually looking into Peter Sobotta, and before that somebody actually sent me a clip, Shane, big up yourself, of an interview that Sobotta was doing, and where he's talking about, and this is years back, where he talks about representing Jamaica. Now this is a German-Polish fighter who wants to represent Jamaica. Tell me something large. Yo, I saw him big. Yo, the man.
Originally from Poland, but you stay here in Germany.
Yeah.
But you said you wanted to represent Jamaica.
Yes.
What was that all about?
I was born in Poland but raised in Germany. So the media and the fans always ask me, do you represent Poland or Germany? And I think it's a stupid question because, I have two hearts inside my soul, a Polish and a German heart. And whatever I say, one side always feels bad, And this is why I choose to represent Jamaica, just to send out the message.
Will you actually be coming in with the jersey, Jamaican jersey?
It was too late to change it, but I asked for it. But on the tail of the tape, I will walk out with the Jamaican flag, So I always say, I'm born in Poland, raised in Germany, but in the heart, I'm a Jamaican.
Okay, thank you very much for the interview, and good luck on Saturday.
Thank you very much. I spent 1 month in Jamaica last year, so I got to know the country, I got to know the people, and I really, really liked it.
That's amazing, because the last time we spoke, that's when you kind of said, yes, I'm going to represent Jamaica. So you actually did go to Jamaica, you spent a month there. What was it like in terms of the culture, the food and the people and everything else that you experienced there?
Like every country, it has its good and the bad side. It's a pretty poor country, so the people, they have very different problems than we have in Germany, where I live. But I have never seen such friendly and people with such a good mood. They are dancing all the time and partying, and everybody is just so friendly. So it was an amazing experience. It was amazing. I was there with a fellow UFC fighter, Krzysiek Jotko, and 2 other friends. So we were a group of 4, and we really spent the whole month there. We were there over Christmas, New Year's Eve, and we went across the whole island. We climbed to the highest mountain. We visited all cities. So it was like a really, really good experience, and I really feel at home now in Jamaica, I have to say.
That's brilliant. Brilliant. So that's Peter Sobotta, and he literally, when you see the fight card, well, look at this picture. So the man represents it Man talks about walking out with the Jamaican flag, all kind of things. I think it's great. I didn't see this interview. I saw the interview before this, before he had come to Jamaica. And he talks about his influences with Bob Marley and so on, and how much he respects the mentality of the Jamaican people and so on. But all around interesting fight. Definitely, I wish Sobotta all the best. One love, my brother. Big up yourself. I hope you win. Yeah, man. Moving on. So this weekend, Bellator MMA main event, Jamaican Jason Jackson versus Jordan Mean. And this is a great fight because stylistically both these guys are great strikers. Jason, I think, has the edge in terms of, you know, having a stronger wrestling game, but Jordan is an extremely experienced fighter. He's a UFC veteran who actually left the UFC on a 2-fight win streak. He retired. He wasn't cut or anything like that, but I think, you know, he was just ready to stop for a while and is now making a decision to come back. And this man has over 30 wins. He's coming from Strikeforce days, so proper veteran in the game, lots and lots of experience, which will play a huge part for him. He has excellent striking, and that with the experience is going to present a lot of problems for Jason. But Jason, I think, young and hungry and athletic, as well as a very well-rounded striker himself, and of course a more proficient wrestler, I think. So even though Jason's, you know, nowhere near the same amount of experience, 11-4, but Jason also has main event experience. Jason is a former LFA welterweight champion, so he's used to the big lights and the big stage, obviously, like Jordan Mean, but Jason probably would have fought more 5-round fights. I think it's going to be an interesting fight. I'm really hoping that Jason has the edge. The matchmakers have it for Jason, and I would have it for Jason as well. So I'm hoping that he's able to pull it out. Bless up yourself, Jason. Good luck. So just to quickly talk about the last card, which I totally slept on. I did not break that card down, but it was such an interesting card. To go over the main card itself, the first fight that stood out to me was Mark Diakese versus Rafael Fiziev. My gosh, man, yo, where this brother Rafael Fiziev come from? The man Diakese, I was expecting, because he's such an explosive athletic fighter who is a great striker and has done incredible work in the UFC so far, and even before, he was a huge hype behind him because of the way he finishes guys, knock fools out. But then Fiziev came along and outstruck him, was throwing incredible body kicks, was just super active, incredible pressure, never took a back step, and it was a work of art to see how him do him thing. And then you had Jack Hermanson versus Kelvin Gastelum. Now listen, Kelvin is by all means a tough guy. Former Ultimate Fighter winner, former champion, just incredible accolades, and yet got finished in the first round via submission by Jack Hermanson in the first round. Leg lock in the first round is, wow, that was embarrassing. It was embarrassing, and he was embarrassed by it. But that was rough, man. It is what it is. You can't sleep on Jack Hermanson. He's showing people different looks. He looks incredible. And then you have the championship. The flyweight champion is now Davison Figueiredo. And what a dominant performance. Benavidez he didn't look like he stood a chance. Like, in all aspects, Davison just looked incredible and just finished him rather quickly. I mean, first round and this was the rematch. A lot of people had said that Benavidez in the first fight had won the first round, and so they had a lot of hope for him, especially because the fight ended shortly after a headbutt that drew blood, and some people can say it was distracting. I don't think so at all. I don't think the headbutt had anything to do with the first round win, the first fight victory. So yeah, man, incredible fight. Benavidez did not tap. He refused to tap. He fought off the rear naked choke for a while, but eventually went to sleep with the most horrendous look on his face. My boy looked like, man, yo, the man looked like punishment incarnate. It was almost as bad as what Ariane Lipski did to Luana Carolina. It was murder, man. She bent her knee backwards almost to the point of breaking her leg in half. Her face said it all. It was excruciating. Yeah, it was a really fun night, and I tell you people all the time, don't sleep on fight nights. Fight nights are always incredible. Just like this fight night, 174, that's coming up. Like, this could easily be a pay-per-view, in my opinion. I think they slept on it, but it's going to be a big night, and I think it's going to be really exciting. So tune in and enjoy. And you know, feel free to put in the comments who you think's going to win this main card. Who you got? You got Robert Whittaker, you got Darren Till, you got Shogun, or you got Lil Nog, you got Fabricio, or you got Alexander Gustafsson, Cookie Monster or Marina, Paul Craig or Antigolov, Cowboy versus Sobotta. Like, tell me who you got. Put it in the comments. Yeah, and we do have. I haven't done a fight. Your style is wild in a little while. I did record one which was about boxing and how effective is boxing in real life circumstances and in MMA. So, you know, look out for that one. I'm gonna drop that one soon. But yeah, let me know what you think. As always, thanks for watching. Big up on yourself. And we're gonna left it again with my brethren who boss the team. Master the Creator.
Kyle, give me your rhythm, make me quick and match it up. Proper timing, we click like clocks, you know. Not a thing figure flick pan tracks, you know. Bag of things we kick and box it up. Everlast we spit like Godzilla. If you check the charts, might not hit like Gangzilla. Maybe true me no politic like Chancellor. Even though my words not limited like damn Twitter. Conditioning training used to mean getting ready for kick it like Bruce Lee. Shadow boxing for me turn mood relief. But if I clash things mash like juicy beef. Yeah, the rhythm I'm a punching bag. Yeah, me kick it up and fill it up with jab. Rhythm starts way swinging so zigzag. It a move always dizzy up, make jag. And when I bring to stage, walk out and my intro plays and gear up like ring to cage ninja ways. First it's cinder blaze, yeah, left without injuries.
Boom bang. Yeah. Big up and always be mighty.